Okay, so let's make sure that those all look right. So we have pi over 6 for 30, pi over 4 for 45, pi over 3 for 60. Okay, we got our 3, 1 less, 2 pi, 1 less, 3 pi over 4, 1 less than 6, 5 pi over 6. Down here in this quadrant, we're looking at 1 more, 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, 4 pi over 3, and then 1 less than twice. 6 would be twice, so 5, 8 would be twice, so 7, 12 would be twice, so 11. Okay, so we got our degrees and radians fixed up. We learned earlier that x can be is referred to as cosine, y is referred to as sine. So if we remember from earlier, let's do our coordinates. Okay, in the first quadrant, we're looking at all positive, right?
Right.
Okay, so cosine and sine is going to be positive. Cosine of 30, or cosine of pi over 6, we learned was what? 1/2?
Yeah, 1/2 and a square root of 3 over 2.
That's what this one is?
Yeah. Square root of 3 over 2, right?
Let's check.
Oh, no, it's the other way around. Yeah, because that was 1/2. No, this was 1/2.
Okay. Plug in the calculator and make sure.
Okay.
I get it confused. It's been a while since I had to memorize these, so.
I mean, it's right on our sheet. But
Yeah,
okay.
we figured it earlier.
Square root of 3
so
over 2.
Hold on, do
right?
cosine
wait, we have to
of pi over 6.
All right, cosine
Of pi over 6.
Pi over 6.
So square root of 3 over 2, right?
Yeah. Well, I plugged in the first time, it still worked.
Okay, good.
We got it.
Good. Okay, so we know that. So we're no longer getting confused on that one.
Okay.
Everything's positive, so we're good to go. 45 degree. We know it's the same thing, and
square root of 2
over 2
and square root of 2 over 2.
Good. So we know that. Real simple. And we know that 60 degrees is quite opposite of 30, so we're just going to switch these, right? It'll be 1/2 square root of 3 over 2.
Right.
Okay, well this is going to make our life easy. Move over here, only thing we're going to change is the fact that we have our cosine is negative, sine is positive
still.
So over here we're going to do what?
1/2.
Negative 1/2.
Square root of 3 over 2.
Good.
And then negative.
And then we got negative square root of 2 over 2.
And positive
square root of 2 over 2. And then we have this. So we're working with
negative square root of 3 over 2
Good.
and 1/2.
Good. And third quadrant. I'll keep this one.
Okay.
Everything's negative, right?
Yes. So then that's negative square root of 3 over 2 and negative 1/2.
Okay.
So black's the negative square root of 2 over 2 and the negative square root of 2 over 2.
And lastly, your 60 degree.
60 is going to be negative 1/2 and negative square root of 3 over 2.
Okay, so let's move on to this 60 degree. So it's going to be the same thing except in this quadrant. In this quadrant, we're working with positive cosine, negative sine. So it's going to be positive 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And square root of, 45 degrees are very easy.
Then
Always the same
positive
thing.
x and then negative y. Square root of 2 over 2.
Okay, and then lastly, we'll do our 30 degree, which is going to be square root of 3 over 2.
And then negative 1/2.
Okay, so let's just do a brief overview real quick, make sure we understand everything.
All right.
Okay, so the key to the unit circle is to know this first quadrant.
Right.
Okay,
because if you know the first quadrant, you know everything else basically.
Yeah. So we know our three main, our three knowns: 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. Okay. We know that the cosine of pi over 6 is square root of 3 over 2. Sine is 1/2. We know that the cosine of 45 degree or pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2. And then we know that this one's opposite of this, so our cosine is 1/2. Sine square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so we could take this information here and we can transform it over here, over here, and over here. And how we do that is we say, okay, to find our radians, we go in 1 less. So our denominator is 3. 1
3,
less
3. Yeah, 3 minus 1 is going to be 2.
2.
Yeah.
So 2 pi over 3. 1 less than 4. 3 pi over 4. 1 less than 6. 5 pi over 6. Down here, we're working with 1 more, so 7 pi over 6. 5 pi over 4. 4 pi over 3. And then 1 less than half, 5 pi over 5 pi over 3, 7 pi over 4, 11 pi over 6. He used to actually sing us that song. It would be like 1 less, 1 more, 1 less than twice. It was really good. So, and then the same thing, we know that we're working with the same coordinates, identical coordinates. Only thing we're changing are their signs. Over here, cosine's negative. We're above the y-axis. The x-axis, so we're working with positive y's, as you can see. Positive cosines here, negative cosines here. Down here, everything is negative, so let's make sure that good. And over here, we're working with positive cosines, negative signs. And I think that's it. So the key is to just know that cosine is x, sine is y. Know these basics. Know the simple rule, 1 less, 1 more, 1 less than twice. And that basically sums up your unit circle. So
Pretty good.
that's all I have.